Testing. Okay, hopefully the audio is fine. And let's see. Let's see. We'll get some stuff up. I've just let people know that the stream is now on. Here it is. Let's see if this looks okay. Oh, okay, that looks fine. Hey, Justin, how's it going? What if nobody else joins the VVverse? If nobody else joins the VVverse, then it becomes kind of like VV, doesn't it? So its own kind of closed off community. It's an interesting question, right? Because, and I'll say this, Decentraland, the token for Decentraland had a really huge market cap. I think it was like 8 billion max, all-time high, something ridiculous. And there aren't very many active users on Decentraland. It's like, I don't even want to quote the numbers, but it seemed like it was double digits. And VV right now, with everything considered, it's still got around about daily users, around about 5,000. These are people who actually make purchases. So I don't even count as a daily active user because I don't even purchase things every day. I'll purchase like maybe, on average, maybe one thing a week. Because I'm not going to purchase a lot of stuff right now. So the markets are difficult. When Disney markets for the Disney area and VVverse, people will come. Yeah, I think so. I think VVverse will have a lot of users, but not the type of users we're probably used to. I think it's going to attract a lot of builders, like people who want to create like virtual businesses. And I'm not just saying that because speculation, but I'll be honest, right? Right now, I find VV, and I found VV for the past year really boring. And I'm being truthfully honest. There hasn't been anything new in terms of things to do for like a year now. And so I would just buy stuff that I like. Or maybe if it's profitable, I'll buy it to flip it. I have no problem admitting that, right? I'm just being honest. So with the VVverse, I feel like I would spend time on it because they've made the ability to use TypeScript to actually create experiences. And that to me is, as a software developer myself, that's exciting. But even if I was an engineer or just someone who knew how to script, even if I had no idea what VV was, if I saw it and I saw you could create experiences in it using a programming language, I would jump on it because you're combining licenses, you're combining, NFTs, you're combining a metaverse, and you're combining the ability to create and, participate in what I describe as kind of like a digital microeconomy. So for those reasons, I would participate. And not many, I'll say projects, not many companies out there, not many projects have the infrastructure to do this stuff. 99% of NFT projects out there are just PFPs that will never do anything. That's the truth and honest, answer behind it. Some of them, they'll try and allow you to unlock things with those PFPs, maybe real life events, maybe, some airdrops. But really, there's nothing around it in terms of actual infrastructure. It's just a collection of PFPs that you either get something for holding those PFPs or you just have the PFPs show up. And VVverse is magnitudes of levels beyond that. So, I think people will definitely want to participate. What a time to be alive. It is true for both good reasons and bad reasons. Housing is pretty much unaffordable. You can't buy anything. But we have Elon Musk, who's making people pay $8 to get verified on Twitter. Have you collected all the blue and yellow? No, I have not. I tried to go for them at the drop, and obviously, I haven't hit any of the Batman drops this week. But I am going to buy one of them. I won't say which one, just because people are probably going to go and pump up the price of the one I want to buy. So you probably have to wait and find out to see which one I bought. Actually, I'll give you a clue. Actually, no, I'm not going to give you a clue. What about these lawsuits? Yeah, so I don't know how many people know, but Ecomi's basically been in a perpetual lawsuit. Like, I don't remember a time where they were not in a lawsuit, to be honest. And they were in a lawsuit like from when I first joined. So we can discuss that later. But they had the original lawsuit in Singapore with Mr. Ben, and then once that one was settled, around about like I can't remember when it was settled, but it was settled like a little while ago. Then they started another lawsuit in New Zealand with the same guy, and then that lawsuit in New Zealand is what has led to the more recent lawsuit against the guy who has a lawsuit against Ecomi. So that lawsuit against the guy who's suing Ecomi, that one came about as a result of someone buying OMI tokens directly from this guy, which there's nothing wrong with that. But the only reason the person, Patrick, who bought these OMI tokens, he believed that that guy he was buying from was done suing Ecomi. Like, they were on neutral terms, it's all fine. So that's the reason why he bought those tokens, is he thought, okay, the guy's left him alone now. He's not going to do anything to affect the token. But he actually had another lawsuit in New Zealand. So his lawsuit is essentially alleging that he would not have purchased those tokens if the guy had told him he was going to, essentially sue them again. Had he known that and not said they were actually neutral, he alleges in his counter lawsuit that, or not even a counter lawsuit, his own lawsuit, that he wouldn't have purchased those tokens. So as a result of him, essentially, he's claiming that he was kind of defrauded. So this falls under security fraud, which I apparently found out that something doesn't have to be classified as a security for it to be involved in security fraud. That's something new I learned. For those people who are like worried, oh, this is going to make OMI a security. Apparently it won't. But the guy does have like an army of lawyers. Patrick, he's got like, who have kind of like, really vetted this whole thing out. So we'll see what comes of it. I think it's interesting. Crazy. I bought 2 mil OMI at 7K each. What's that? Oh, so that was at 007. I remember buying 1 mil OMI for like that much as well. The most I paid for OMI was 1 cent. Hold on 1 sec. My bird's being crazy. I have to use the banana to quiet him down. Okay, he's quiet now. Okay, so let's see. I low-key want. Oh yes, the Trump NFT. I was going to talk about that actually, because I was like discussing the Trump NFT, and I said, you know what? I bet you there are going to be some hardcore Trump supporters out there that are going to pump the price of this, because it's kind of like with the VV one-on-ones, right? People really got hyped up about it because they got a chance to like have a one-to-one dinner with David Yu. The Trump NFTs, you can win essentially the same thing, but it's a dinner with Trump. And there are some hardcore Trump supporters who will definitely they may not know what NFTs are, but they will happily buy them. So yeah, that's some interesting stuff. So this was a chart that I did a while ago, right? And I'm revisiting this chart because I want to update it, and I'll show you guys, right? So just to break this down, these are just some basic fib levels. So from the peak here to like down here. And my prediction was, if I kind of drew a trend line up here, and if I grab the... Can you guys hear the bird? Okay, I think he stopped now. Yeah, so if I copy this trend line, bam, bam. Okay. So what we were seeing... Oh, this looks messy. Okay. Okay. So this is messy, right? But essentially what we're seeing is a bit of a... maybe we can ignore... Maybe that's cleaner. Okay. I'll include the one at the bottom. But yeah, basically, it looked like we were getting an ascending wedge in an overall kind of downtrend, right? Like if we zoom out, like we are still in a downtrend. Like look at that. So I thought price was definitely going to come lower, and it was going to bounce off this key fib level, and that is exactly what we have done. Let's zoom back out. Okay. So yeah, it kind of did exactly that. It hung around this point of resistance. It came all the way down to, what did this week to? 0.85 today. And now we are at kind of chilling around here. So what do I reckon is going to happen? I think we're going to retest this level. And then once we retest, I think we're going to come back lower. I think that's fine, because I believe we have yet to feel the effect of, everything that's happening with, the, I'm going to say, orchestrated attempt to kind of bring down Binance and a lot of these centralized exchanges. And when we kind of go through that whole, once we've gotten through all of that and the institutions are done loading up their bags because they funded crypto enough, at that point, if that coincides with them starting to print money, that's when we're going to see, I believe, the start of the next bull run. And I think a lot of this is going to coincide with the next Bitcoin halving as well. So I think at least the first half of next year is going to be pretty rough. After that, I think the end of the year, I think it's going to end higher than what it started at. That's my opinion. That's not a super thought out prediction, but I think probably by the end of next year, they should be okay. Okay, so if you had to guesstimate, when do you think the ability to purchase OMI on web app will arrive? Buy OMI on web app. They're going to want to have crypto pay-in working for sure. It's going to have to integrate with an exchange. There is no reason to be able to buy OMI on the web app until you can use OMI on the app. So I predict it's going to have to come after the OUP is fully integrated. And the OUP ain't going to be fully integrated by their estimates until like at least middle of next year. Less for I believe all the stages or phases, whatever you call it. So I think maybe Q3 of next year, but I would push it to Q4 because we know that, they tend to always be delayed by a quarter. I think by this time next year, you'll probably be able to buy OMI in the app. That's my guess. We are going for lower for sure. Yep, that's what I believe. Your bird sounds like an incoming tornado. What up, Bill? Definitely think it's going to 0005-ish. I believe so. I haven't updated this chart, but God's Entry, he's got an updated chart where he believes the key levels it's going to go to is 0007 and 0005. And then below that, he hasn't got anything. So if it goes below 0005, then I have no idea. We'll go as low as we need to go. Get rid of the bird. Got to get the Trump NFT has had stupid volume, man. Like freaking Donald Trump NFTs. I should have minted this. Like, look at this. This is ridiculous. Sells out NFT trading cards. I'm pretty sure someone has this one. I think I've seen someone with this one. Kimmel on Trump's show. So this, I think, is actually good because look at this. Look how many news outlets are talking about NFTs now. Like, this is coverage. This is going to make people research NFTs. And many of them will research it for the first time. And a lot of those, they might actually get interested in it and they'll start participating. Like, this is how mass adoption happens. It doesn't matter if it's good news or bad news. As long as there is some form of news out there to raise awareness of this, people are involved, and that's what we need. Is just people getting involved in the space, and they can only get involved if they learn about it. So this is bullish. Like, I think Trump is doing a good thing for the NFT space. Money printers go brr. VV put the... Oh yeah, someone told me about that. I thought they were trolling. They were like, Vivi just stuck the Battlestar emblem app for 0 gems and anyone could buy it. And I was thinking, how does that work? Because I initially thought that maybe they airdropped all of them to one person. And that, to me, logically, I was like, that kind of, I can imagine that happening, right? Because if you have like a list of wallet addresses, and for each one, you just iterate through each one and you airdrop each one to this list, that makes sense because maybe they forgot to iterate through the whole list and it just did it for the first one. But I don't see how you can go from an airdrop to listing something for 0 gems on the market. Like, that's a very, very different thing. So I don't think, and people have been selling them as well. So I don't think they can like take those gems back that the people, because they made a legitimate transaction. They bought it for 0 gems. They made that purchase and then they sold it. I don't think Vivi can like pull those back. I think what they're going to have to do is just let it go, but give people who held the collectibles something even better. Like, they should get something better than the emblem. I don't know what they can get, but it should be better than the emblem, in my opinion. Are you ever going to be able to use Bitcoin at a convenience store? You can, but you'd have to use it in the form of like a third-party tool, like a crypto debit card. Those have become quite popular. I know there are apps as well that people are using for Bitcoin. What was that place? The place that adopted Bitcoin and now they're really heavily down. What was that country that legalized legal tender? It's going to come to me. Actually, why do I Google it? Wait, what was the name of the country? Oh, El Salvador, that's it. Yeah, Bitcoin legal tender, El Salvador. So that's the country that they create like an app so people could just use Bitcoin kind of like, like cash or anything else. But there are people who use crypto debit cards now, and it works like any other payment system. I don't really see people walking around with like nano ledgers and like plugging it in and then sending it that way. I don't think that's going to happen. That's it. Yes, El Salvador. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Hey, Dino, what's up? I think lost some of it. I don't know if they lost any of it. I know that they're down though, because they bought Bitcoin at like, when it was higher. So they better be dollar cost averaging. El Salvador, yeah, a year ago, El Salvador became the first country to make Bitcoin legal tender. A year ago, ooh, yeah, they're definitely down. Bitcoin was Bitcoin like 35K a year ago, something like that, 30K. Oh man, that's crazy. So here's another one, right? I don't know if people have signed up. Feel free to sign up if you are interested in some of this stuff here, which is okay. So if I go to, let's see, what is the floor price of the McFarlane NFTs right now? Let's see, the cheapest one is 45 Matic. That's for the common spawn. Oh, someone's listed a redeemer for 50. 50 Matic. I might buy this, How much is 50 Matic right now? Let me check. Oh, $42. I don't have this one. I'm tempted. Do I have any Matic though? Oh. Okay. I need to buy some Matic. Or do I wait? Maybe someone will list it for lower. Let's see. Where's my... I've got this Pikachu. Here we go. Okay. So this normally gets my bird to quiet down. Okay. Okay, now you're quiet now. Oh. Yo, Hamoon, what's going on? Okay, so as I was saying, I think here's his main site. I need to tell them to make it easier to go to their digital page, because they have like an actual digital page. And see, this takes me to the marketplace, but I don't want to go to this. I want to go to the actual page where you can sign up. And that's kind of, it doesn't take you from here. You click activity. How do I get started? It doesn't take you. Okay, what if you click here? Oh, okay, so that's the link that takes you. Okay. I think that link needs to be at the top somewhere. It's in the bottom right. Like I would probably put it at the top. Somewhere at the top. Or in the FAQ as well. But yeah, this takes you to the main page. So from here, download the app, and there is the ability to sign up. So welcome back to main store. Okay. And oh, so this is actually on a main store page now, the icon for digital. Ah, okay, that's good. So are they not? So they put the dragon there, but you can't click into it. I think there needs to be a bit more work done in terms of making this a bit more user friendly in terms of the main page. Because I'm partnered with them, like, you know, I do stuff with them, and even I find kind of navigating not to be kind of not as intuitive as it could be. I click tutorial. Okay, so I've got tutorial there. I've got market. Okay, but I want to sign up to the list. See, there's a list that you can sign up for the next drop. Okay, what I would do is I would have a banner that shows the next upcoming drop, either here, or if you don't want to show it in the marketplace, then I would show it back on the main page, which is here. Oh, I realized I was not sharing that. Okay, let's block some people. They've got the spammers in here. Hey, poor man, how are you? You're in the hospital, aren't you? I heard poor man's in the. Well, I saw poor man's in the hospital. He's he turned into a Lego block. I hope you feel better. What happened to you, poor man printing? Let's see. The poor man printing, I believe, works in construction, right? And you can tell, like, he loves construction so much that he himself has become a Lego block. He's become a construction block. Oh, you've got like the oxygen mask. You got like everything. Damn. It looks like it was something with your wrist. Did you drop something on your hand? You know what? If you try getting a hospital bed in the UK for like a fracture or something, they're not going to give you a bed or anything. They're just going to look at you and be like, oh, you know what? Put some ice on it, go home. Like getting treatment in the UK is so hard now because doctors are just so like understaffed. A lot of doctors have left the UK because the public sector is just really, really like over flooded. Like there's just way too many people for the amount of workers. Um, they need to make it easier for private care, like people to get into private care here. Like I think all employers, in like they should give some kind of subsidized private healthcare, like they have in the US. Too much gaming. I had aggravated. Oh, okay. So tendon. Okay. See, I feel like I need to take more breaks nowadays with like my wrists because obviously I'm on a keyboard a lot, and people do get like carpal tunnel syndrome like in their wrists because of like the what's it called, like the ergonomics of like the way you kind of rest your hands. Like there are I'm sorry, mouse pads that are designed to like help your wrists and support your wrists when you spend a lot of time on the keyboard. But I guess as long as you kind of like do like wrist exercises or like you kind of do some kind of stuff away from the keyboard, should be all right. But yeah, like carpal tunnel syndrome is is real. Okay, so I was trying to go. Actually, you know what? It's on my page. Let me just go to it. McFarlane Dragons. Where are they? Okay. Here we go. It's on this alphabet thing. That's why, because it's not on the main page. Okay. So I have signed up as well. Okay, built by Trevor. Okay. We have these coming up. So only 100 mints of the green one. See, my favorite is the red one, but I do want to get one of each, and I don't think I'm going to get these this time. Maybe I'll get like one random one. I'm not sure. I haven't asked if I get anything for helping them out this time around. Yeah, but these are really cool because for the last one, I did actually really like the spawn stuff, so I went out and I actually bought some of the stuff myself. Like, I got a set of 3 random ones, right? Because I'm partnered with them. I did actually go out and buy stuff as well from McFarlane. I'll show you guys what I bought. Okay, so I bought. This is the Brian Boland statue, black and white. So it's got like the Batman black and white base, and he has the Joker card, which is quite cool. So this is pretty nice, and I kind of keep them up here with like, I don't know what you call it, like my VV themed background. You can kind of see. So we've got like the Batman, we've got a Mermicorno, I'll say Unicorno, we got the VV logo, we got the gold card, and then there we have like some other stuff. You guys can see there's like a graded comic up there. Actually, I'll show you. I'll get the comic. I got that one was a gift from Sleeping Comics. Let's see. Doctor Strange Academy. This one I think is the secret rare on VV as well. Oh, no, I bought this in Decon. This is from the Tokidoki set. And I'll show you guys the other stuff up here. We have Mini Riso. And then this one's really cool. This was like a spare one because I had a double of this. Well, my girlfriend, I bought them for her, and she got a double, so I just kept this one. Okay. Oh, I bought the new Pokemon game as well, actually. That one is... I noticed there are some glitches in it. It's quite funny. So yeah, that one is hilarious. There is also... what I wanted to get was... Black Crystal. Oh, they put a video out. That's interesting. Oh, this was back in June. Okay, they put the video up. Ah, okay, yeah. So they're doing those NFTs now. Oh, here we go. So Bloomberg did an article on this, right? This came out yesterday. So the Jim Henson Company and Quid partner up to celebrate Dark Crystal's 40th anniversary. So they've kind of like done this pretty retro-looking article. I don't know if that's just the way my browser's rendering, or if the article's supposed to look like that. Okay, I think maybe it's just the way my browser's rendering it. But yeah, Quid is doing some work with the Jim Henson Company. So we've already got Jim Henson on Vivi. That's where we have the Ludo, which is like one of my favorite collectibles. I call that one FA Chupacabra. Here we go. Yeah, so they're doing 3D AR collectibles as well, ones, and I'm gonna probably do. What's this? December 21st is coming, so I'm gonna do a full video review of this one because that one will be a sponsored video. But when I saw this, I was like, oh, you know what? Like, I actually like the whole kind of like Jim Henson kind of universe with Labyrinth and Dark Crystal. So I will definitely get one of these. Maybe more than one, depending on which ones I like. Like, I'm not a fan of these characters here. But there are some characters that, you know, I'm not like one of the people who just, if I see something that looks cool, I'll buy it. That's why I bought the Ludo. Like, I'm like, you know, he's a FA Chewbacca for me. Yeah, so the Trump NFTs, I regret not minting. I should have minted that. But the Swamp Thing, I'm torn on that one because if they make it kind of like the Obi-Wan Kenobi, where it's just that one, which I believe it is, and the mint number is quite high on it, like the Obi-Wan, because I know Obi-Wan is a popular character. I think Obi-Wan is definitely more popular than Swamp Thing, but they need to really balance out the mint size on this. So for those who haven't seen it, this is the trailer. This is really cool. Like, he's got a proper base, and I don't know if you guys can tell, right? Like, the base is actually kind of alive. That's what it looks like. Like, the base is moving. Like, if I rewind it, right? And if I... Yeah, the base is definitely moving. Like, look at near his foot, right? Like, the base is kind of like, you know, it is alive. It's like there's roots or something underneath that are moving. You know what he reminds me of in this? He reminds me of Vecna. Like, have you seen Stranger Things, the new season, or the last season? Vecna. So Vecna is like the thing that comes from you know, the upside down area with the Demogorgons and all that stuff. Like, he's the guy who actually, I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it, but just Google Vecna. Like, I'll show you guys. So remember what Swamp Thing looks like, and then look at Vecna. See, is that not the same? Is that not the same thing? Like, he's even got like these kind of tendril things all over him. Like, look at that. This is basically Swamp Thing's like brother, or maybe Vecna is like the budget Swamp Thing. Is the new Swamp Thing, or maybe he was inspired by Swamp Thing, because a lot of like villains, they get inspired by existing kind of fictional characters as well. Because eventually you run out of ideas, you just start mimicking existing things out there. Like, there's Batman and then there's Owlman, and they look very, very similar. And they both have like basically a similar powers, which they have no powers. They just use their own kind of wealth and gadgets and things. The Swamp Thing is interesting. I haven't watched the new series yet. Oh wait, this is an old series, season 1. Came out in 2019. Oh, I have not watched this. Is Swamp Thing any good? Like, is it worth watching? Because I'll watch it if it's decent. If it's good, I'll watch it. I need recommendations on if it's worth watching. NFTs like exchanges were the exact reason crypto was invented, but you use them to buy crypto. Yeah, pretty much. That's why I was saying decentralized exchanges, like this whole Binance and centralized exchange nonsense. I think this is going to be the catalyst we need to push development of better decentralized exchanges. Because I was buying tokens like Loopring coin back in 2017 because I had this vision that, people are going to get annoyed by centralized exchanges because it defeats the purpose of like crypto, because the exchange itself is centralized. But decentralized exchanges were non-existent back then. Like, they were terrible. They're all right now, but they can be much better. Like right now, most dexes are basically just forks of Uniswap. Those are awesome. Cool. Thank you, Biscuits. Yeah, I want to buy that unicorn I sent you, Ichio, the gold colored one. I want to buy that, but it seems to only be on that Mercury page that you showed me. I'm going to Japan next week, so I'll see if I can find it there. Like Japan, if there's anywhere on the planet that will have these collectibles, this is Japan. It's just finding it. That's the case. Someone find me a Kenneth Rockefeller. Oh yes, that's the one where he looks like he's dabbing. The one on Vivi. Kenneth Rockefeller stuff is good. I like his Batman that he did. The one with the kind of futuristic looking one where he's got the whip kind of thing with the Batarang at the end. You got to pay for that MTD or it's a giveaway. MTD, what does MTD stand for? Is it the MTD? What does that stand for? Oh, McFarlane Toy Digital? Is that what you're referring to? So the McFarlane Toy stuff, that one has an allow list. It's going to be digital only. It is not like the last one where you buy the physical and then you get airdropped the digital. It's only a digital drop. So anyone around the world can participate, because the last one that they did, that was, although it was technically global, they don't ship out the physical stuff to outside of the US and Canada anyway. So if you did want to buy something physical just to get the digital, like, it doesn't really work. Like, you'd have to ship it to someone in the US. And that's a licensing thing. Like, they can't really ship outside of their, geographies that they're licensed to sell within. Oh, the new Pokemon series. I heard Ash and Pikachu is not in it. I mean, I don't mind the fact that Ash and Pikachu aren't in it, because I watched the other series where they replaced Ash and Pikachu with Red. And that was like more kind of true to the more modern games, I guess. And to be honest, Ash would be like, how old would Ash be right now? Like, he would be in his 40s or something right now, like he's he should have aged, but he's stuck being like 12 years old forever, or whatever his age is. Hi Brittany, how are you? how's your Squishmallow hunting? How's your new chair hunting? Have you got a new chair yet? I've got this chair. This is a comfortable chair. It's a Herman Miller. Like, you should Google Herman Miller chairs. Like, it's expensive, but I say invest in a good chair, because if you're like me, you're going to spend a lot of time on it. So it's worth an investment. Like 1K plus, although it sounds ridiculous for a chair, it's worth it if you're going to spend most of your day on it. Thoughts on Ben versus Dr. Profit lawsuit? I got sent the article, not the article, but the actual documentation. Someone paid for the thing and downloaded documents from it. Okay, I'll say this, right? And then you guys can go do your own research, because okay, so I'm not going to say if Patrick is Dr. Profit or not, because that's doxing. So maybe he's a friend of Dr. Profit's, but we'll say Patrick, right? Okay. This is what you guys have to go research yourself. I'm just going to kind of advise this to you, right? Is on exchanges, ask yourself, how many exchanges are fine with listing a token that has an active lawsuit associated with it? And that's all I'll say, right? You can try pieces together based off of that statement. Okay. Yeah. You guys can kind of then figure out, like, why this is so important as well for the token and the app and everything else. Because there is an existing lawsuit against OMI, which is what led to this second lawsuit from Patrick. Okay, I mean, this is public anyway, so you guys can go Google this. But if you just search OMI lawsuit, a bunch of Cavell videos pop up as expected. Okay, so this one was the one where they settled. So you can see here, right? Back in February, they settled. So this was, when was it? February 2021. Okay. But if we go OMI lawsuit Singapore, so that was the first one, September 2020. Okay, here we go. So this is the second one that they have. Why does this person, it's the same journalist who uses the exact same picture of David. Like, she's done 3 articles on this and she's used that exact same mugshot of David. Like, you got to update your pictures of David, man. Come on. Yeah, so this one, blah, 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 legal battle, the fight between entrepreneur David Yu, OMI, and Orbis blockchain, blah, 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 with MB Technology, Bangadenzi. It was settled in Singapore, but has now resurfaced with a judge keeping the New Zealand proceedings alive. So there were apparently 2 suits. One was settled in Singapore, but there's a second one in New Zealand. And that's where this new one from Patrick kind of comes from. It's based off of this, because he bought tokens not knowing that this suit was kind of going on in the background. He was told that there was, everything was good between them. Apparently not. And so he's arguing he wouldn't have purchased tokens had he known it or had this been disclosed. So he felt like he was defrauded. And this is actually a legit thing, securities fraud, where you sell someone, an asset, and you're doing something that kind of, reduces the price of it. So you kind of, and you don't disclose it, you lie about it, or you make it seem like, everything's good, when in reality, it's not. That does actually constitute a type of fraud. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this. I think there is definitely a case there. I believe they'll probably end up settling in some way. Don't know how, but a lot of times these things, they don't actually make it to, like, to the judge. Like, they get settled before then. So we'll see what happens. I can't really comment because I'm not the one filing these lawsuits, and I wasn't involved directly in them. I've just literally read these articles, done some research, as much as I can, spoken to some legal experts about what they think, and that's pretty much it. But they've basically, for the majority of the time that Vivi's been around, they've had some form of active lawsuit, clearly. And you guys can Google this, look at the dates yourself. Like, it's not me, speculating or making stuff up. Like, it's out there. So that's bullish, like the fact that they've done so well with all of this nonsense that's been constantly, kind of just attached to them like a tumor. So I believe with Binance, right? So Binance, what was happening? Binance withdrawals were they postponed or suspended? Is that what's happening? Let's see. Oh yes, Mazars. Here we go. Or Mazars, however you want to pronounce it. Mazars, I think it is. Mazars Group suspends all work with crypto clients, including Binance, Crypto.com, citing concerns over public perception of proof of reserve. See, this the issue is Binance can prove that they have reserves, but you also have to show your liabilities as well, and Binance hasn't done that. Now, I believe Binance definitely has their stuff in order compared to FTX or a lot of these other exchanges, but if Binance goes down, I don't know, like, who's left? See, Coinbase, they have huge corporate backing, and they're very compliant with, like the regulators. You could say they're kind of bought by regulators. But they provide people's data from Coinbase to the government so that they can kind of hunt them down for tax reasons and money laundering and things. So they're very compliant with the governments. So if you KYC to Coinbase, all of your data, your transactions and stuff that's probably with your government right now. But some exchanges, they're not at that same level of collaboration yet with the regulators. So that's a bit of a risk for these guys. KuCoin. I'd love to see OMI on KuCoin. I think that's going to be an exchange they'll go on, is KuCoin. Because it makes sense. It's an Asian exchange. And we know that OMI token, it is pretty much entirely mostly on Asian exchanges. Because of the whole security thing, right? Is they don't want to list on any US exchanges at the moment until there's a bit more regulatory clarity. Because the whole kind of security thing and the SEC, that's all kind of exclusive to the US. And even though it does have a global effect, it is, the whole kind of regulation side around it that is in the US. Let's see. In 4 ATP. Oh, was that the video one you're referring to of the dragon? I think it might be my stream destroying the quality of it, but you can definitely Google it. Or the video. Oh, wait, the video is also ruined on Twitter. So that's one of the reasons I want to get Twitter Blue, is with Twitter Blue, you can upload 1080p videos, which you can't do otherwise. And because I upload a lot of videos, it might be worth it for that reason. Also, I get the little check mark. So I think that's $8 for or £8 for my check mark. So I would pay more than the people in the US. Vecna 4 morphed together. And that's what Swamp Thing is. He's Vecna and 4 morphed together. Swamp Thing is super low tier. Why did they even make a teaser for it? See, I was thinking I saw it and I was like, I was confused. I was like, I thought they tend to make these trailers for really popular characters. Is there something specific about Swamp Thing that I'm missing? I thought maybe they were releasing a new series for it, but that series came out 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whatever it was. I'm really confused by why they kind of hyped it up and did the trailer for it. Like, is it really special? Like, am I missing? Is there like a secret army of Swamp Thing fans out there? Like, I think the model looks cool, but in terms of the IP itself, like, is it really that special? Like, I don't know, because I'm not a Swamp Thing fan. Like, I don't really know much about Swamp Thing. I just know he exists, and that's it. Niche. I guess Swamp Thing is kind of a niche. Me chat as chair. Oh, I was when I went chair, I was referring to Brittany's chair that she fell off of, and if you haven't seen the video, you should go to Brittany's Twitter page. Actually, I'll show you guys which one it is. Let's see, it is some. So it's this video here, right?
Kind of went over her shoulder.
So you can see she's just chilling on her chair. She's got her Pokemon stuff in the background.
Of like a Game Boy thing. Had my Game Boy, had some games in it, and
she just falls off her chair. This is why you need to invest in a good chair.
Had my Game Boy, had
so you don't so that this doesn't happen to you.
Some games in it, and
I fell on my chair.
Right.
Are you
That's
okay?
actually amazing. Yeah, that's actually amazing.
And then she just like styles it off, like, oh, I meant to do that. Randy's shocked, and then he's just chilling. What kind of bird do you have? Oh, it's a button quail. I'll show you guys. It is one of these. It's like an all white one. Yeah, it's like this one. It looks like this one here on the right. Yeah, so this is like this is what they look like as adults. So mine's an adult because I've had it for quite a few years. So they're pretty tiny. Okay, so I made this prediction a while ago, right? Let me see if I can find it. I'll show you guys. So there was a video I made. It was oh yeah, so this was like 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago now. Actually, when did I post this video? Yeah, this was
I want to show you in
about 4 months ago, August 22nd, like right? So I spoke about in this video what I believe was going to happen in the market, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Yes, so what I was saying is the time, so this was 4 months ago, is inflation had gone up so much, but the rates hadn't gone up enough to curb inflation. And every time they raise rates, they kind of, they punch the market a bit. And so I was like, they're just going to keep hammering away at the market. That's going to send us into a kind of persistent downtrend. And if we're stuck in a downtrend, then, any negative news is just going to send us even further. Like, the effect kind of gets amplified. And any rally that we have in a downtrend, people just end up shorting it anyway. Because that's just what traders will look for in a downtrend, is they'll look for these short little rallies so that they can literally short them. And we can, and if you're not a chart person, you can kind of go look. I'll show you guys an example, right? Let's see. I'll pull up TradingView. If I pick something, I think there's a good example. I think it's Euro USD. Okay, so this is an example, right? So if I zoom out, so what I believe is going to happen here. Let's make this red. Okay, so And then if we do a second one, so you guys can kind of see. Okay, so what usually happens, right, is, and actually let's zoom out a bit. And place this up here. Okay, so right. So this is like typically what I would expect, right? So whenever you have like a persistent downtrend, like here, if you get these short little rallies that form these kind of converging wedges to the upside, what typically that's an indicator for is once you hit a point of resistance, like either here or here, one of these two, you're going to get a lot of traders that just short, because whenever there's a short-term rally in a bear market where you're in a downtrend, as soon as you hit a point of resistance, that's where these traders, they're going to look to take profits. And they tend to all look to take profits around about like an obvious point of resistance. And that's why you get these huge, like high volume movements downwards. And, you know, that's where I would look to short the market. And you can see here, actually, if we zoom in, that's kind of what's happening here. Now, that's a very like we're on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so we're on a 4-hour time frame. So that's like a small movement because probably some people have started short early, like, you know, because right now it's not a bad time to look like to short, but I probably, you know, if I want to play it super safe, right, I might miss it, but I would look closer to this point of resistance here. Like I could kind of do it here, or I could line up a couple of shorts like between here and here and just scale them in. But yeah, I believe, you know, Euro USD, you have to look at the chart of that. I believe we are going to head down. So what I would do, right, is, you know, I would look kind of around here. So, you know, I would say, okay, maybe we kind of pull back a bit, retest this area. What's the previous wick at? Up here, right? So I'll look at that previous level. And I would, oh, this is a long, not short. This is my short. Okay. So I would set a stop loss like above this point of resistance. Zoom out. Is that okay? I could set it a little bit higher. Okay, I set it there, right? And then what I will do is, okay, so how far can we go? Okay. So that first movement, you can see, bam. And so I'll kind of play a bit safe, go for the base. Okay, so this would be a 1 to 11.5 trade. Now, again, what I would do is I normally go for like 1 to 3, 1 to 4 trades, somewhere in there. So what I could do is I could actually look at a point of resistance around here. So I could short to there, keep it safe. That gives me a 1 to 6.6, and I could actually bring my stop up a little bit. Okay, so now I've got some breathing room, right? Okay, so I think this is a safer trade. Now I could leave a bit here and then just let it run and move my stop down. But I'm okay with this because it's above, you know, these wicks here. It's above the second point of resistance. And I believe here, we could, if it goes up to here, it'll be a good opportunity to short. And so what we can expect, right, is with even same thing happens with crypto, and same thing happened with OMI as well, is we're not going to get much movement to the upside until we see a complete like trend reversal. And that only happens like, over a longer period of time. Like these short-term rallies, if you kind of zoom out, right? Now this is Euro USD, like it's not even OMI or Bitcoin, right? If you look, right, we've been on a downtrend, like, bam, 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 just consistently down. And then we get this one like kind of rally, which started, a couple of months ago. A couple of months of, moving upside. Like that's not confirmation that, we're in a bull market or anything again. Or, that, what is this? That the USD is, massively outperforming the euro. Because, the US, they've raised rates already. A lot of countries in Europe have not. So we can start to see, some balancing out. The USD is, it does have a lot of power right now. Okay, so going back. Feels like a coordinated attack by banks, hedge funds. Yeah, this always happens like every single year, right? Is I always go back and say this, and I'm like, hey, a lot of these institutions, all they're doing is when they start unloading loads and loads of FUD at the same time, like JP Morgan is the perfect example. Like Jamie Dimon, like he is the king of like, pump and dump. Apparently he is. Because if you line up his articles with Bitcoin, whenever he says Bitcoin's a scam, it's dead, like, it's followed by a rally. And whenever he's like, oh, Bitcoin is going to be 100K or whatever, that's when we start to see the price going down. And it might be a coincidence, but, I'm not surprised that, this kind of stuff is correlated. So when institutions start massively flooding crypto, that's when I think it's time to start buying more. But when they start saying things like, Bitcoin is going to be $1 million, et cetera, that's when I'm like, now is the time to take profit. Yeah, crypto hasn't been through like a hardcore recession before. Okay, it has, but not when it's been widely adopted. Because we've seen a lot of crypto adoption past 5 years, but we haven't had like a hardcore recession in the past 5 years. Unless marketing and VV, that's actually bringing a lot of users. I think OMI will keep going down in 2023. Yeah, but I don't see them doing massive amounts of marketing for OMI at the moment. I think they kind of want to get all of their, arrange all their eggs correctly. And yeah, probably make sure, there aren't any like active legal things associated with the token ongoing before they start marketing it. Because people are just going to, new users are going to come in, they're going to see that stuff and they're going to be like, oh, this looks a bit dodgy. But if you spend your time researching, you'll be like, hey, wow, this is a token that is attached to a actual product, and that product generates more revenue than like 99% of companies out there. Something is it means we could get more mature DC characters. I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's different to Batman because we've had like many different Batman characters. I think we should get who are we missing? We're missing Cyborg. We haven't had Cyborg yet. He's a main DC character. And Aquaman. We haven't had Aquaman either. Yeah, so there are actually some kind of mainstream characters that we are missing. Something written by Alan Moore, who also wrote Watchmen. Oh, okay. I like V for Vendetta. Like I'm a fan of that film, especially since it's kind of like based around the whole kind of a Guy Fawkes blowing up Parliament kind of thing. Like I thought that was quite cool. Looks like good eating. Yeah, everyone says that. They're like, you should just barbecue the bird so it will stop making sounds. Ah, okay. I didn't know Swamp Thing was a popular like comic niche. The sound of doves used to trip me out as a kid. Yeah. So if you want to upload 1080p videos on Twitter, you need to have a blue check mark. If you upload normally, it's like it destroys the quality of it. I've actually been buying collectibles for this very reason. Yeah, I mean, I have actually been buying stuff as well. Surprisingly, like people think I don't actually have anything. Let me see. We'll just go straight to the store. Okay. Yeah, I can't be asked to log in. They also own a lot of Bitcoin. That is true. Yeah. MicroStrategy, JP Morgan. There's a lot of big Bitcoin players out there. We're going to need more variety if we're serious. Yep, I agree. I think with the whole kind of oh, who's this? Who's Venka Kyle? Is that Venkatesh or Kyle?
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Who do we have? Oh, okay. Whoever it is, they're gone. Okay. That was probably Kyle trolling. Because I normally share the link with him and Randy and some others so they can always hop in whenever they want. Okay, so what do I predict? So I'll leave at this, right? Is what I believe is going to happen is first half of next year, I think is going to be worse than what we've currently experienced. Second half of next year is going to be better than the first half, but it's not going to be like everything is recovered. I think the end of next year, we're going to finish higher than where we started at. And that's where I think realistically we're going to go. I don't think we're going to have recovered, but I think at least we'll be on that path to recovery. Like I think we will have gone past the bottom by some point by middle of next year. And that's where I'm looking to buy more. Like, as in I will continue to buy more, but I'm not going to go ham. Because you guys know I've like kept most of my capital, like my my like VV money and some other stuff. Like I haven't touched it. I've only been buying very small amounts of OMI, which to me, when I say small amounts, I mean like, a million OMI, like every now and then, which, for some people that's a lot. Some people it's nothing. We're all kind of different with our own circumstances. But for me, like, what's that? That's like $800. If I spend like $800, in a month or whatever, like that's not like a crazy amount of money, but I feel like it is a chunk. Okay, so it was Kyle. Okay, I was thinking Kyle.
Yeah, what's going on, man? What are we looking at? We're looking at Justin here. Right. Justin's comments.
yeah. Justin's comments are always funny.
Yeah.
I was going through an example that I was showing people. So basically, I've been doing like a lot of work with God's Entry, and I've been doing like a lot of like practice trades. And there was a chart I did a little while ago, and the price of OMI is somehow like following that chart. And I was basically trying to show, like if you zoom in, right, so I was like, we're kind of going along this rising wedge, and whenever you get these wedges in a downtrend, usually what happens is people just short the hell out of it. And so I was like, you know what, people are probably going to short around about this kind of this key fib level, and it just basically stayed flat and then just went bam. And so what I predicted was we were going to drop lower, we're going to retest this fib level, and then we're just going to go all the way down to like 0007.
Yeah.
Which is what God's Entry had as well. But God's Entry had a second level at 0005. That's his like very, very low target, which is still okay actually, assuming we do believe Bitcoin's going to like 13K, because like we are in a, like if we zoom out, right, like This is February of this year. We've just been on a downtrend since February, like literally nonstop. So we're definitely still in a downtrend.
Yeah, it looks like a what you call a bearish flag. So
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
you have the flagpole. It's a classic pattern, really.
Yeah.
And it just kind of confirms the overall macro trend. And usually how I verify is you look at other tickers, you look at, Bitcoin and Ethereum, the big dogs, and you can kind of confirm your charts off of like the obvious, major, the S&Ps and the Dow Jones of crypto, which is Bitcoin and Ethereum, of course.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think should be going lower, at least for the first half of next year, and then after that, I think we should finish higher than what we started the year at. That's my guess.
Yeah, and just CPI is typically like a lagging indicator traditionally as well. So it's like we haven't necessarily felt the like 100% pain of the CPI and all the like lagging indicators of old. Even if you take out like the shelter and all that, like it's still, I still think we're gonna feel those impacts. We're not through winter. We're all gonna have higher energy costs here in the next few months. So I just don't see the macro just being randomly like, bullish or anything like that. I saw VV Digital Collectibles.eth on Twitter post a pretty funny meme like the Santa Claus pump, and it was like 1% or something like that. It was a pretty funny meme. But it's so yeah, and it was really true though. It's like, people are expecting this big pump, and I just don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be that quote unquote Santa Claus pump. So yeah,
I think I know which one you talked about. The one where it's like got the guy. It's got like the
the classic meme, guy or whatever. He posts a lot, so it's
this
past
is
that.
one that I posted.
Utility. Love it.
Staking. And there's this meme that Buck always posts where it's got like the kind of like the like weird looking characters with like the misshapen heads. And then one of the quotes is like devs are diamond hands. So I just put that wherever I see it because I'm like that. I think that's just so funny.
Oh yeah, you got to keep scrolling down. It's like I think it was a few days ago, but it rings true. I mean, I just don't see too much action here pretty in the short term. So
oh damn, he posts a lot of me. Oh, what do you think of this?
Oh, he posts a lot. So the the Donald Trump stuff.
Did you mint it?
I'm not too surprised Melania Trump did some NFTs, to see him do that. I thought I wasn't a fan of the art or whatever. Like I get it's kind of degen, so like that part is pretty funny. I debated buying it because like not because he's Trump or anything, but I was like, well, it's like kind of like FA president NFT. Maybe one day it'll be worth something like in terms of the money side. I get why people wouldn't buy it if they don't like Trump, or if if you do like Trump, I get why you buy it. For me, it's more like I'm gonna flip this tomorrow. So so I ended up not getting one. I was just like, I don't know, $90, but it did really well. So maybe I should have and flipped it. So
have you seen this?
The dad bot. Oh classic Vitalik, man. Oh man. We should call him Vitalik Bat Talik.
Vitalik Batarin.
Oh yeah, I was like way past the swamp stuff or whatever. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, way past.
He's been commenting a lot on the Trump stuff. Oh, look at him.
Yeah, he posts some pretty funny stuff.
Oh, have you seen these
Is
ones?
it the AI?
I'm a true collector. I'm a true collector.
And then we've got this one as well.
Damn. That's crazy. That's crazy. Damn. That's crazy.
I think I think one day what we're gonna see is somebody create a Cavell Clips channel, and they'll make good money from just that. I promise you, one day, man, when Cavell's at like, I don't know, 500,000 subscribers, there'll probably be some Cavell Clips channels. I can already see it, man.
I told make a Cavell soundboard.
I told Cavell he needs to do more comedy reaction videos because Cavell's actually really funny. Yeah, that one, the Santa Claus rally.
The Christmas rally, 1%.
Yeah. So people are like, oh man, there's gonna be a Christmas pump and like, oh, end of year pump incoming. And it's like, yeah, this is probably what's gonna happen. It's like 1% gain.
Oh man, like, that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Right, you mask.
Well, did you hear about the bug in today's airdrop? Apparently, the Battlestar Galactica, the badge, the people who were supposed to get it didn't get it, and what they did instead by accident was they listed it in the store, and they listed it in the store for 0 gems. So people went and bought a bunch of them and then sold them straight away for like 20 gems. And then the people who were supposed to get the airdrop were like, "Where's my airdrop?"
Oh,
how does that even happen? I thought someone, because I got told this from someone, and I thought they were trolling. They're like, "Oh, there's no airdrop. They put it in the store for 0 gems," and I was like,
that's wild. No, I didn't hear about that. I was pretty far removed today, so I missed the whole swamp announcement, the swamp thing. Yeah, I missed today's action. I saw the bond poster. Yeah, so I missed a lot of stuff today.
Yeah. Oh, so you probably missed the queue that they have. Yeah,
I missed that too. Yeah.
I'll show you the queue. The queue is funny. So basically, I retweeted this because I just found it so funny. Oh yeah, so this video, right? So my comment is, people asked when Q, you got your Q, like the letter Q.
Yeah.
This is the video. So basically, he's got the Mike Mignola Batman, right? The colored one. And watch what happens when he places it in his showroom. So he places it.
Yeah.
And basically, instead he gave you.
That's hilarious. There's your queue. That's a queue system right there.
I'm like, what is this? Look at that. and the thing is, it's not even like a nicely drawn queue. It's like, like, look at that. It's like kind of overlapping. Like, you know, like when a 2-year-old is learning the alphabet.
Yeah. It's just like,
I was like, you got your Batman, and then the Mike Mignola Batman is literally like he's like moving it around.
That adds to the Mike Mignola lore even more now.
like look at that. Like, that's the picture of it, right? Like, this is like level clickbait. It's like, oh yeah, I'm getting this, you know, this colored Mike Mignola Batman. Let me put it out in my showroom with my other Batman. And then you put it in.
Like, what is this?
Like, what? I don't even know what happened here. Like, what is this?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Add it to the VV blunders.
Yeah.
The blooper reel.
This week has been so funny for VV. It's like, you know, like the Cavell video, like calling out the mods for like getting like we actually, to be honest, it was a lot of people who were like, you know, talking about it, like the airdrops that weren't like, you know, mentioned or disclosed. And then we had the lawsuit as well with Patrick, and then we had the airdrop that, you know, didn't work, and instead people got free collectibles who weren't supposed to get it. And that,
whoops.
And then they got this Q Batman, like, man, like, you know, like if anything, this is bullish for VV, because the fact that all of this stuff happened on top of like everything else that's been happening and all the delays, and like, you know, that VV literally has an army of like full-time people funding it. Like, the fact that they still by far, like, magnitudes outperform any other project in terms of revenue. Like, they turn over more money than anything else in this like NFT world, right? Like,
right.
They still do that. Like, that to me is so bullish.
Yeah, and long term too, the secondary fees are going to be like this giant like spirit bomb, like with Goku, just like absorbing energy for like forever. But then finally, when it's absorbed, Vivi's just gonna be like boom with all their secondary fees and like the OMI burnt and like all that.
Glitch. I don't think the free airdrop is a glitch because they placed it in the store for 0 gems. And you know, like in stores, right? Like when a store places something for sale and they get the price wrong and you buy it, normally they don't ask you for it back and charge you more. It's like you made a purchase, so you keep it.
Right, right.
It's their responsibility to just be more like diligent in the future to get the pricing right. And I've seen this happen a lot with products. So it was Vivi's fault for putting it there for 0 gems. So I think they kind of have to let people keep it, also because people have been selling it. So many of them have sold. So it'd be too much work. So I think what they should do is just be like, fine, that's that. But they should give the people who had the Battlestar Galactica set something way, way better than the airdrop. Like that's the only course of action that I can see.
Yeah, it'd be much easier if they just had the MCP out and you could just remedy like via, I don't know, OUP, MCP points or something. But since it's not out yet, they can't fall back on anything yet.
One NFT, he's a ripped bodybuilder, and the other one, he's a dumb fit golfer.
Yeah, you got Riso, and then you have a Q next to it. And then Todd McFarlane is just like another beautiful statue right there.
Yeah. I don't think Vivi would ban your account for buying something on the store because you're making a legit purchase and it's their fault for putting it there for 0 gems. Like, you're not actually using any third-party tools or using like I wouldn't say this is an exploit. I would say this is just them putting something for sale that shouldn't be there. Like,
yeah, I don't know how you could fault somebody for like buying a bunch of them for free or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you could like, if you're like unsuspecting, you could just be like, I was just claiming these because they were, I thought they were for free, like you clueless. And yeah,
I think as long as it's not like they're losing a lot of money, because they weren't going to make any money off these anyway because they were meant to be free. Because there has been a time where on the app, right, the iOS app specifically, there was a period where the iOS version had updated, and for some reason you could go and buy gems and you could cancel it and it would still credit your account with the gems even though it didn't charge you. And there were people who were spamming that on iOS apps. That got patched way back, but there were people who were saying it wasn't their fault, it was Vivi's fault for allowing that to happen. So they just got like thousands and thousands of gems, but they got their account banned as a result, and then their gem balance went negative as well, so they had to pay that money back.
Yeah, I had a negative gem balance at one time. I was like, yeah, because I was like, because I thought my purchase wasn't going through, so I kept like buying it, and it was like negative, like I can't remember what it was. It wasn't like insane, but it was like negative a couple hundred gems for sure. And I was like, oh my god, I was like, and I had like 4 of that same collectible, and I was like, oh. Like, I probably wouldn't have bought that many, but I think it ended up turning out to be like a good thing anyway. So,
hey, Jordan.
Yo, what's going on, Jordan?
He's definitely stacking Omi. We know that.
Yeah, that's an Omi stacker.
I said good ban for negatively affect the market. I think I know what that is. I think that's more referring to like gem wise, because they needed a clause to kind of cover the whole kind of off-market gem thing with like the fraud gems and transferring gems between different accounts to like launder money. Like, they just needed like a clause to kind of cover the whole thing. I think that's what it's more referring to, rather than buying stuff that VV has put for 0 gems by accident. Oh, this. Yeah, so I think what they said was there'll be different resolutions for the VVverse. That's similar to what McFarlane's doing. So they've got like a low, medium, and high resolution mode. I think VVverse will have that as well, because it is engine agnostic as well. Because running really high frame rate, like Unreal games and experiences, like I know you need like pretty much a gaming PC to do that. So I know they've got like different resolutions for different devices.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine.
About to hit 130 mil. Wow. You know what? If OMI goes to 0005, and if I spend all my money on OMI, I too would have over 130 mil OMI. That would be like way more OMI than I thought I could ever have. But I would need to get very lucky with timing as well. Like,
yeah, it's a big timing thing nowadays for sure.
Yeah. And plus, if I'm buying that much OMI, I can't get it at such a low price, because if I buy 10 mil, it's gonna jump from 0005 straight back to like 00065 or something. Like I can't get it all at that low price, unless some huge whale is just like, I'm exiting.
I need like 30 whales to donate me like 1 million a piece, and then that'll be my stack right there. I'm just kidding.
I heard they used to do that back in the day. Like there was tip OMI in Telegram, and people would just send each other like 1 million, 10 million OMI for fun because it wasn't worth much.
It's like gonna be like the Bitcoin pizza.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm just gonna spend my Bitcoin on this pizza. It's like the most expensive pizza of all time nowadays.
The multiple $1 million pizza.
I gotta sell. I think I'm gonna. I'll sell a collectible or two to like buy some more OMI if it does like keep dipping.
Yeah, that's what I was preparing for. Is I'm like, I know the crypto market is less risky than the NFT market because it's been around longer, so it's proven. So I deleveraged myself. I like reduced my holdings in Vivi, and I just held the gems. And if the crypto market goes to where I think it is, then I'll be able to redistribute those gems into crypto, and then hold that crypto. And then with crypto pay-in, I can very easily get back a lot of my NFT stuff, and still have like crypto left over to buy other stuff as well.
Yeah. Most people don't know what they're doing though. It's so like they'll end up like selling, getting into OMI at the wrong time, and like biffing it or whatever, or like they'll get in like what happened with I don't want to say Andre, but I hate to use him as an example, but like buying at the top and then
he didn't even DCA. I'm like, what the hell?
No. Yeah, so imagine if you're him now in the same position, you'd have so much more OMI and be so much more leveraged into the token and have way less risk. And so, most people that are, as keen as we are on like the token and the NFTs, we can leverage that knowledge, if that makes sense. And so not everybody's the same, even people in the community, even people that been in the community for a year, may not have the knowledge of good trading skills. Like you're friends with, Champ that does the Forex stuff or whatever. So you've been following trading for a while now.
Yeah, I've been spending a lot of time with him. I was supposed to see him today actually, because I'm not gonna see him until next year because I'm going to Japan next week. Which is going to be fun. I'm meeting, Mr. Fat Booty, TJ.
Nah, I don't know.
Oh, okay. He's the guy who won the Epico Regal tournament. He's on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he lives in Japan, so I'm going to meet him in Osaka. And Kaki Gaijin.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in Japan as well, so.
Oh, that's sweet.
He's going to try and come down. Like he's in a further part of Japan, Nagoya, but it's not super far from Osaka. Like it's couple of like an hour on the bullet train. So but he's gonna try and make it.
That's really cool. Yeah. Yeah, I thought about making it out there in a few months. So I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, my wife, I haven't sold her on it, so we'll see.
Yeah, God's Entry is looking like similarly, he's like looking for these wedges, and he said he's looking to short here. This is just what he's posted on Twitter. So this is all public for anyone to check out.
I wish in the US we had shorting contracts, but we don't. We don't have any. You can't really short anywhere or buy any like sort of, you know, you can't short or leverage on like any platform in the US pretty much,
Yeah.
which is a big
Oh,
bummer.
I completely missed this because I tried yesterday to do the 48-hour rebound on the Blue Todd, and there was nothing in the store. And then I checked, like, an hour, a couple of hours later, and I just assumed, okay, they're probably all gone. And then just randomly, like when I was asleep, then they added them to the store. Like it was way after 48 hours, and then people bought like, you could buy multiple if you wanted, of that Blue Todd. And I was like, man, like this is another thing that people are going to be mad about because they said 48 hours and it wasn't listed in 48 hours. They just randomly listed it like, like
Oh dang.
5 hours or something.
Dang. So like they didn't do it 48 hours. They just randomly threw the Todds out there in the world.
Yeah, basically. And so people
God.
got really like annoyed by that because there were people who were staying up like in the middle of the night, 48 hours trying to get the rebound, and it just never happened.
That's
and then
wild.
Yeah.
So much random opportunity out there, but also like, people paying big mistakes. VV making some mistakes out there.
Yeah, I really think if they have an issue with a drop, they shouldn't just randomly re-enable the drop. I think they should give everyone a bit of notice, like, because they did that one time. They did that with the DeLorean drop on Twitter. They said the drop is down, but it's going to be re-enabled in the next 30 minutes. And they re-enabled it at exactly 30 minutes on the dot. And that was really good because I was able to go in and buy like multiple ultra rare DeLoreans, which became a meme. But
yeah, they used to do that. Like I remember because like in Telegram, or Twitter or wherever, like you could literally just go in and be like, oh, okay, like because if you were working, you kind of have to like pause what you're doing, and then they'd be like, okay, well the app's offline, and then you could just go back to working, and then they'd ping you again, and then you could just open the app back up and be like, okay, I'm good to go.
Yeah, exactly.
That system actually worked really nice.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't do it anymore. Like if the drop is down or it's going to be re-enabled later, like they should let people know it's about to go back live in like an hour or something or 30 minutes. So then people at least have a bit of advance notice rather than just randomly turning it on and not even saying anything.
Right.
You go in and it's like, wow, I was waiting for this, and the moment I stepped away, like you guys like just turned it back on. I think next year for NFTs will be interesting. We'll see which projects have genuine demand, because I think a lot of projects, they won't have hype to push them. They're gonna have to.
Right. I saw. Did you see? So Paul Barron just dropped a video on Illuvium saying like Illuvium should do something similar to like what Vivi's doing, and on Paul Barron's like Twitter. But I thought that was interesting. I was like, yeah, because I'm like, if I'm Illuvium, I mean, I would partner with Vivi. I mean, maybe not now because obviously they have like 2 or 3 different games to drop, like get different game modes, and so I get why they'd be pressed to focus on their game first and then do something second. But if I'm a Web3 brand or game like like Illuvium, and you have some pretty powerful like genuine or not genuine, but like original IP, then I don't know, partnering with Vivi makes sense in terms of the Viviverse and Cavernous and how the ecosystem is going to work and interoperability and having like skins dropped and using that with like Ready Player Me. I don't know, it just makes sense. But I thought that video was pretty interesting.
Okay. I need to watch that Paul Barron video then. I'll probably do it after the stream.
Yeah. Andrew Wall, he's their like head of marketing. He was the one that was like being interviewed over there on Illuvium side. He's more of on the line of like he's thinking it'll take like years for the metaverse, or like a long time, or like several generations for the technology, like the headsets to catch up, which is fair. So he's more of like I would say more of a pessimist than an optimist, if I would say.
You know what I want to do is I really like your setup in the back. Like, I wish I didn't like. I don't know. Like, if I angled this desk differently, I could probably have like like a clean
Like 5,000 collectibles in your background.
Oh yeah, I've got like way too much stuff, but I've got like a lot of the similar stuff that you have. Like I got this today in the post.
Yeah. I would so I would, if I were you, I would go to Elgato or Amazon even, and you can buy a cheap they're like a stick. It's like a stick. So you just put it on your desk, or you can clamp it to your desk, and then on top of that you put your camera, and it's like a multi-mount, so you can change the entire angle without even having to move your desk. So it'll like point just like this boom arm works, except you put a camera on it and you can just like turn your so like I changed my angle of my camera from on my monitor, and I moved it over to my like multi-mount thing, and it looks like it's further back now, which I kind of like the angle a little bit better. But yeah, like that's something that I don't know, you could probably do without having to move your desk too.
You got one of the these ones from Jimbo, right?
Yeah.
You got one in the back.
Oh yeah, it's intertwined in my Christmas lights. I keep forgetting I have Christmas lights back here.
Ah, nice. Which what color is your one? I can't tell in the shadow.
It is here. Let me. My hair is like not done. It's hard to see. Actually, I forget that. Yeah, it's like turquoise and black.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's quite cool.
And it's like intertwined in these Christmas lights. So I'll try to. Did you ever open Jeff's HRO pack of cards that he gave you?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I didn't get like anything amazing. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Oh, that's nice. Mine's like orange and
yeah, that's pretty sick.
These are really cool. Like these are like carved from wood, and then he's gone and like done all of the like individual bead. Like I'm like freaking hell. Like how long did this take to make? And then the back has got like a mint on it. So I got 3 out of 25, and then it even comes with like the certificate of Jimbo Lee Lingo, with like the history and everything behind it. Like this is so cool. Like this, you can tell he put time into this.
It's wild. Look at the certificate underneath it.
Oh yeah. I've got that's where I put mine as well. I put mine underneath. Like, and that's quite cool. I want land in that first circle of the VVverse. If we get all of next year to stack cheap on me, that would be pretty interesting. Yeah, like I always go back to this example because I think this is one of the best examples. Is I wonder if it's on TradingView.
Can we get a feet cam, Justin? I have a side shot over here. Let me make sure I don't have any like random personal stuff. Let's see. Oh, maybe I don't. Oh yeah, I guess that camera's not on. Oh well.
Okay. I think this one. Okay, when was this? 21. Okay, fine. Yeah, 18 is fine.
What ticker is that one?
That's Cardano.
Oh, ADA, yeah.
Yeah. So like, I actually bought Cardano even before it was on Binance, right? Like, I bought it like before this chart even existed, like back on the ICO period, and I think I paid, I think it was half a penny for my Cardano. I think it was 0.5 like back then. What was this? Or was it 5 cents? Because this is free. No, it was definitely lower than this. Yeah, so I basically like held, and I think it was like roundabout, yeah, like midway of 2019. It was around here. I think it had like a bit of a pump like here, and then I
It
was like,
did,
oh, I'm
yeah, a
done.
little
I just
bit.
sold. So I did make a profit, but it was like a very, very, very minimal profit compared to where it had spiked to, like right at the start of 2018, like it shot up, and I was like, right, I'm done. And you can see, like, still for another like what's that, like another year, and it didn't even do anything. It just stayed flat. If anything, it went down, and then
Yeah,
6 months after that, it just went like boom, and
parabolic.
it went
Yeah,
bam again, and it went bam again, and then it still went up. Like
yeah,
it literally just that is literally the definition of a moon, going to the moon, and it
right.
just randomly did that out of nowhere. And that was just
Yeah.
because everyone who was stacking, Cardano finally got its golden moment. Like, it was finally kind of legitimized, and there were influencers obviously promoting it, like BitBoy. That obviously added a lot of that pushed it a lot. But OMI is one of those ones that, because it's one of the few tokens backed by an actual product, it has that potential to go viral because there's something to talk about. Because this is the other thing: is most tokens, right? The only thing you can talk about is the price. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only thing to talk about, and that there are so many tokens like that. Like, people make up things to talk about, but really they spend 99% of the time just talking about the price because there's nothing else really. Whereas, OMI,
I don't know how Jake Gagan does it, man. How does he do it?
I don't even know. But Cardano is always a good example I like going back to because it's one where I held the token from when it was really low to when it was really high, and I just held it back to when it was really low, and then I sold it for a very minimum profit. Whereas if I just had conviction and understood, or I didn't understood where it was going, I just didn't have the conviction because crypto was very new at the time. People were telling me crypto's dead. This is fake money. Like, you're wasting money on this. Go buy a real asset like stocks or something. And then bam, it did that, and I was like, man, I should have held. Yeah, now I just stick by my conviction. I'm like, you know what? The reason why I bought this token was for all of these reasons, and those reasons haven't changed for me. The only thing that's changed is the price. No, the only thing that's changed is the price and the market conditions. The fundamentals of it haven't changed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the learning experience too of just like, because I bought ADA early on as well, and then like took profits, and I thought those were like really good, and I just didn't really, I didn't want to hold that long. I knew it was going to be a while, but like hindsight looking back, I'm like, man, if I would have held like that, I calculated it, and it would have been a lot of money. Like, that's all I'll say is like, I had a pretty nice bag of ADA back then, and even then, it wasn't even that big. Like, my plan was to continue to accumulate, and I just didn't. Like, I don't know. There's just so many opportunities back then that's just like hindsight. It's like, wow, if I just would have, like, for instance, XRP was another token as well. It's like, oh, all I had to do is just buy. I had a small bag, but I wasn't like into the whole centralized part of it. But like hindsight looking back, I'm like, I honestly, I don't even care. Like, I don't think I would have cared now. Like, if that was gonna like retire me for the rest of my life, like I probably wouldn't care. So I think the thing for me now, looking back at it all, is just like looking at good products, products and projects that are actually gonna like change the way things function in society. And for Vivi, that fits my narrative and how I want to invest. It first, like in terms of stock, like Meta launching their stock, that was an obvious one. Twilio was another big one that launched. They did really well. But yeah, in terms of like Vivi, they're disrupting a big space. GameStop, if you look at their revenue and break that down, like they make a lot of money. They make billions of dollars off of collectibles. And so, I mean, collectibles is a pretty big market. And we've seen in the past, like just 2 years in NFTs, a lot of these NFTs are considered collectibles, even in the macro outside of EV. So there's a lot to continue to grow on. And yeah, so I think we're just, I know it's like a cliche thing to say, but we're still like super early watching. We're all watching VV build, and like when you're watching things being built, like that means you're here pretty quick. You're pretty early. It's not like, well, with Facebook, you know, you were already on the platform, right? Most people found Facebook and it was already like built, already like ready to go. The only things that they're really changing was like kind of like the algorithm, and that was pretty much it. So it's not like you were like back then on like the Harvard days, like there's only like a few hundred people on Facebook. And then now we know Facebook as today, you know, they bought Instagram, they did a bunch of other stuff, and now they're actually building the metaverse. So it's like, wow.
Exactly. There's this place I want to go to on my first day in Japan, but it's quite hard to get a booking. Like people just, it's like doing an NFT drop. Like everyone just books out the whole place like a month in advance. Like all of these spots are taken, and this is for all of January. Oh wait, there's one spot available on the 6th of January. Ooh. Oh, but that's 10 a.m. That's way too early. What about December?
Everything looks so small.
Yeah, like bam, bam. Oh, damn.
Japanese.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is.
Can you
actually.
Can you read Japanese?
I can read hiragana and katakana, which is like the easier characters. There's like kanji, which is like the Chinese characters, which are like way more complicated. Yeah, I studied Japanese for a year in university, and then I carried on like doing a little bit here and there, but I haven't used it in so long that I'm kind of like, I can still read Japanese.
I've watched Naruto in Japanese. Does that count?
Yeah, that counts.
The dubbing.
It's a good way of learning Japanese. Like I'd say, watching shows and reading stuff.
Yeah. Kirby Cafe.
Yeah.
At what point? So will you like? So if you get to a point when you have a lot of OMI, are you gonna stop saying like how much OMI you have, or it will always be like kind of like a public thing?
Yeah, I probably won't really care, like, because Randy and Jordan and these guys, they happily tell people, I got 130 million, 150 million, whatever. Like, I think for me it'll be the same.
Yeah.
Also, with, like, people can probably figure it out if they really wanted to. Like, like I've posted my wallet around, like, because it's not really a big deal for me. I know some people are super secretive, but you can see just how broke I am if you want. Now, actually, to be honest, I most of my holdings aren't actually in crypto or NFTs. It's actually stocks. Like, I'm a big Tesla person. So,
yeah. I like Tesla. Meta was a good, easy, like long-term play. Apple, like all those, like early on. If I was to hold one, it'd probably be like Apple. If I got in early. I think Facebook launched at like $18 or something, and it went all the way to like what 300, and it's like back down to like 180. I checked the other day. It could be down lower. It could be, yeah. I wonder what their stock is actually. At 119, so it's like it's like cratered. Oh yeah, it was like 370 just last September.
Oh man.
But that would have been an easy play on IPO, I mean, if you really believe that they could create a good product long term, I mean, that's not a bad entry,
Oh wow, they're down even compared to 5 years ago.
I mean, what do you think about all these like tech companies? Is there really room enough for like all three, like Google, Apple, Meta, and even Amazon? That's like 4. And really, I mean, you have an X factor kind of in Tesla, even like with Elon, like with the different platforms. Do you think there's like enough room for all these like to do like all the same thing?
I mean, it's like Bitcoin and crypto, right? Like when Bitcoin was the only thing around, it had like 100% market dominance. But as we've had altcoins pop up, like Bitcoin's market dominance has shrunk because the market share from Bitcoin is kind of spread across these other tokens. So it'd be similar. Like obviously we had this phase where the stock prices ran up massively because we were printing money like it was nothing. And the supply of money is going to continue to go up, right? But I reckon, even with more competitors, even with these other kind of companies in the space all competing for like the same kind of market, I think they'll still continue to grow at a decent rate. Yeah, I think the trick is to become a conglomerate. So you branch out your kind of initial business into different niches. So for example, with Tesla, like, their insurance is going to be a big part of their business, like selling insurance. Batteries, battery tech, software, they can lease out their software to other businesses, so B2B model. The electric cars is like their main kind of bread and butter. And then Tesla, they're going to do other stuff as well. So yeah, I think that's going to be the play, is to become kind of like Amazon, I'd say, because Amazon, they went from selling books to selling everything.
Yeah, and that they transitioned into data too. So it's like a big, obviously, so it's like a big competitor to Google and Google's cloud and TensorFlow even, and then you have Microsoft Azure as well. Yeah, it's just like I wonder where Meta like fits in, how they could like become more of a tech stack instead of just like social and like metaverse, like why not offer an actual like tech stack product, I mean, they do. They have like, I know they have like the apps you can build and all that shenanigans, but it's not really like a big solution for like big time companies yet. Maybe they do have an angle there. I don't know.
Yeah, this is a good question. I think we'll do this question and then wrap it up because it is getting late here. But I'm curious to know your opinion on this, because so there's like a whole kind of story I can go into about this kind of thing. But just to like keep it short, right? Is there was a study and it spoke about a lot about like gender inequality in the workplace. Specifically, they argue men will earn more than women for doing the same job. That was the kind of basis of the argument, right? And there was a study that actually looked at the difference between men and women for doing the same thing, and they found that that psychologically men are bigger risk takers than women, like on average, right? And so that kind of, I guess, assertive nature and risk-taking nature is what leads men to kind of negotiate their salary more often than women did in the study, right? Like this study is out there, you can find it if you kind of search these keywords, gender inequality, psychology, blah blah blah. So what they found was it wasn't necessarily a case that a man would automatically be given a higher salary than a woman competing for the same role, because from a business perspective, that doesn't make sense. Why would you hire any men if you could just hire all women who could do the same work but for less? But it was because whoever they hired, if it was more often a man, they were more likely to negotiate their salary higher, and that's usually what happened. And so that works until it gets to a point where you have a colleague and you can instantly find out they're doing the same job as you, but they're getting paid more to do it. But that's only because they negotiated higher, and they never disclose this stuff because someone else's contract isn't really your business when you're in that company. They can choose to tell you, but that might cause problems because now you know that that person you're working with is doing the same stuff as you. They're earning more than you. So yeah, I think that's going to cause some problems within a workspace if everyone knows how much someone else is earning.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Use that tornado cash. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, I mean, it could. I mean, I don't know if fiat just entirely just disappears, but maybe people just, I mean, it's kind of like with Coinbase, like it generates a new address every time. So that could be a solution. Cardano has interesting solutions where you can basically have it private and or not. And so they've thought of these things like years ago, to kind of like have that privacy, whereas like the blockchain has enough data to verify the transaction, but the other party or other people don't necessarily know the information within the payment itself. And there's also zero knowledge proof. That's like kind of the foundation of sort of ZK rollups. Yeah, I mean it is, but zero knowledge proof where neither party or the other party doesn't know specific information as well. Zcash was an early one. Dash, Monero really is a big one. Dash was kind of a little bit different but similar. You could have the option, I think, with Dash. I can't remember on Dash specifically, but yeah, ZK Cash and Monero were big ones. Obviously, Monero is like banned in some parts of the world.
One of
So
the OG privacy coins.
yeah, the OG. I mean, they still work. I mean, but you need like what with Cardano has done. They put a well thought out process to where how they can actually become adopted, that will actually fit in governments and society, to work together, not just have some zero knowledge proof coin where you can just money launder that doesn't work, because then you have bad actors, you have money, like it just doesn't make sense. So you need to fit in the middle somewhere, and Cardano has actually a really good solution for that.
Yeah, that's fantastic points there. Okay, so I think we'll end it there. It's been 2 hours now. I only plan to stream for an hour, but like I just lose track of time when I'm like having these conversations. But yeah, like I think next week we've got some interesting stuff happening with the. Actually, no, it's this weekend that Swamp Thing drop. I'm curious to see what the big kind of big hidden finale is going to be for all these Christmas and end of year. Like the last drop of the VV calendar, I guess, for this year.
Yeah, who knows?
A lot of stuff to unveil for Q1 of 2023.
Has
the OUP, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, as dumb as it sounds, I hope we get a Christmas Groot, like a big buff one. Like,
oh yeah, Groot is bigger now, isn't he? In the newer films, like I watched the trailer for the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, the holiday special was actually really funny. So I hope we do get one. I'm like, it won't be worth anything probably, but I still want a big buff Groot.
Yeah, that would be a good one for the show.
Yeah.
You can have him next to Swamp Thing.
Yeah, for sure.
2 humanized plants.
Yeah. It's like the shorts where he grows an afro of like he's putting the mud on his like head. And it's like,
oh yeah, and he grows.
He looks like a chia pet.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for having me on, man. And it's always good.
Yeah,
it's always fun.
I'm really. I was literally today. I was thinking about. I can't wait till we go Anaheim again and hang out at Jess and then just chill out in that massage chair.
Yeah, like
I'm waiting for that time again. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, apparently, like he wants us there back. So
yeah. Oh, okay. I'm down.
Yeah.
He wants to go back just to play with the dogs, hang out.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I'll see you later, man. And it's good to have you on. And yeah, we'll have to circle back at Anaheim for sure.
Yeah, it'll be good. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.